All right, so Sailor and I just finished working on this Outdoors RV 19 MKS, and this is a really cool trailer, very well built. We maxed out everything we could do to this thing. We added a 24-volt air conditioner. We replaced the 120-volt air conditioner with a more efficient model. We added 1,800 watts of solar. We used bifacial panels elevated into the air so they'd get light on both sides. We've got a DC-DC charging system. We got portable solar and the whole 9 yards. So let us show you what we did here. So as you can see, we've got 6 300-watt bifacial panels here. They're elevated about 10 to 12 inches into the air, so the back side of the panel is also getting great light reflecting off the roof. So even though this is 1,800 watts of nameplate solar, really you could get up to 25% more than that in optimal light conditions. Whereas most of you know, if you have 1,800 watts of solar mounted right to your roof, you're really gonna be getting at most 5 to 10% less than that in ideal light conditions. So that is a huge upgrade and it's gonna keep this trailer cool. We were still able to leave a nice walkway in the middle. And I mean, this just looks awesome. This rig looks like a butterfly from the front. It really has these cool looking symmetrical wings. And I just think it turned out nicely. Now, a lot of you are gonna ask, how did you run the wires for the Velit air conditioner, for the solar, and for the StarLink in the back? And the answer is that this trailer is very difficult to run wires through. Those of you who own it or work on it, you know the walls have styrofoam throughout. So we actually ran a conduit, a plastic pipe up the side, and we put our Velit 24-volt cables in there. We put the StarLink cable in there. We put our touchscreen wire in there. So I'll show you where we mounted the Victron touchscreen in just a moment. But we did not have to run new solar cables. Outdoors RV actually used either a 6 or an 8 gauge solar cable. I don't remember, but it was a very heavy gauge cable. So we were able to put these 2 strings in parallel. So we've got 3 in series and 2 in parallel up here, and that's working great. So yes, we did replace the max air fan with the 24-volt Velit air conditioner, but we also installed this Gree Ecocool 120-volt air conditioner to replace their main AC unit. Now this is a very efficient unit and it has heating, a heat pump, not just a heat strip, but a heat pump as well as cooling. So this is a nice replacement for the stock air conditioner for this unit. In the back here, we do have the StarLink Mini mounted magnetically. So this is really nice. We have a video on how we mount StarLink separately, so you can watch that. We'll link it in the description. So as you can see here, the Velit turned out nicely. There's actually about a 6-inch gap between the ceiling and the roof because of how well insulated this trailer is. So that made the Velit, you know, not kind of sit all the way down into the unit. And some nice trim work, thanks to Jesse. I think this turned out really nicely. We also moved the customer's stock thermostat, the one that came with the RV, which now this only controls the furnace because we've got the new AC unit with the heat pump. But we moved this so that it's no longer being blocked by the slide when the customer's in transit. So it used to be about here, we moved it to here so the slide doesn't block it when they're traveling. We've got their new thermostat right here, and then their Victron touchscreen right here, and we actually had to drop the cables down through the roof like I talked about earlier. We've got our batteries here and most of the Victron equipment. We used VoltGo. They're about 5 kilowatt hours each. It's a 24-volt, 200 amp hour lithium battery. It does communicate with the Victron system, so it dictates the state of charge and the voltage it wants to be charged at to the Victron equipment. We've got our Orion 24 to 12 volt converter. That allowed us to remove the customer's 12 volt battery. So with a smaller RV like this, where you don't have any massive slides or hydraulic jacks, then you don't need to start a generator that runs on 12 volt, then this is a great candidate for removing your 12 volt battery and using that 24 to 12 volt converter instead. We also have our Lynx Clean install bundle here. So this again is a very nice way to like shrink down your Victron system. Your shunt, your switch, and your distributor are all in one place, and we needed 2 extra fused slots, so we've got this MRBF dual fuse holder on the right side of the distributor. So rather than adding a whole nother distributor just for 2 more fuse spaces, we just used that very compact little 2-inch, 3-inch item instead of a 11.5-inch distributor. So that's pretty much all for in here. We've got the Multiplus and the DC-DC charger in the pass-through. Those generate the most heat, so we wanted to keep them away from the bed and also make sure that the customer can sleep soundly. You know, given that this is so close to their bed, if the Multiplus is making some noise, some humming, or maybe the fan goes off while they're sleeping, we wanted to move that into the pass-through away from the bed. But we do have ventilation here. We've just used very, very quiet fans. We've got a 12-volt fan just here, and then the same place on the other side of the box as well to push that heat from in here out into the pass-through. So right here, we've got the fan that vents the air all the way to the exterior, so it doesn't just get stuck with all that hot air trapped in the pass-through. And in here, we've got the Multiplus, the StarLink, we've got our typical bypass plugs, shore power breaker, StarLink is plugged in here, and up top, we've got the smart solar controllers, both for the rooftop solar and for the portable solar. So now when the customer is hooking up and getting ready to drive, they can first connect their 7-pin to the truck, and then they'll connect the large Anderson connector for the StarLink DC-DC charger. So the StarLink is something we use when you're looking for the most power that you can get. It's got bidirectional charging, which is nice to be able to jumpstart your starter vehicle if you get stranded, but more importantly, it's just more powerful than the Orion XS or XS 1400. If you've got an outdoors RV trailer and you need solar installed, or a DC-DC charger, or a 12-volt air conditioner, or a 120-volt air conditioner, don't hesitate to give us a call.